Hello, hello. Welcome to this YouTube Live. May 9th. Happy birthday for all those tourist lovelies. My sister's birthday today, so big shout out to her. I already did a tourist happy birthday reading. So if you want to go check out my gallery and find the video there, and you can see that beautiful, amazing tourist happy birthday message. So there's some pretty big energies happening right now, mainly because of the grand scheme of things, but also we have this amazing full moon. So the full moon peaked in Scorpio, and now I believe it's in another astrological sign. But we have a lot of subconscious elements still coming up, and a lot of that has to do with illusion, trust, doubt, faith. And also, when we go through these death and rebirth cycles, it's really hard sometimes to understand how to move forward differently than we have before. Because, yes, everyone says, I've changed, I, had an awakening, or I went through a dark night of the soul, and now I feel differently. But sometimes we don't know how to actually move forward in the world with this new direction, this new kind of identity or aspect of ourselves. So there's this in-between phase while we are kind of letting the training wheels off, so to speak. So be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself and the universe as, the pieces to the puzzle continue to fall into place, because we're still not quite there yet. You might be asking, where are the open doors? I've been looking at these closed doors for the past little while. Now, one aspect of that is to open up more space for yourself. So there's more room for the new to come in. So if your energy is focused somewhere that is unproductive for you, then essentially taking your time to find small ways, small action steps to move your energy from one place to another. So if it's an unhealthy place, could be food, could be addictions, could be alcohol, anything, exercising too much, being too busy. It's different for everybody, but it's just taking a step back and really looking at if you can focus your energy on positive aspects of your life or move into a place of faith and trust and do your best to move yourself out of doubt and mistrust. So now that we have more tools in terms of discernment, putting up healthy boundaries, learning more about our bullshit detectors and listening to and paying attention to red flags and communicating effectively, being very assertive. These things will help us move forward. And so it is a good idea to dig deeper into situations right now. But there is also this element of not being too afraid to come into the world because you don't trust anything anymore. So that is a totally natural feeling. It's just working with how to mobilize that into something that's actually effective for you. So being assertive, having those strong boundaries and practicing those. So it does give us that chance, that opportunity to practice our healthy boundaries and learn how to navigate through times that aren't, apparent. It's not clear. There's still a lot of shadow. There's still a lot of illusion, and there's deception within ourselves and from other people. And so it is a time where we do have to really look at ourselves quite deeply and say, okay, where did I deceive myself? Where did someone else deceive me? Where did that person deceive themselves? Because it always starts with self-deception. So moving through that, it's a tricky one to move through. But, we all have to look in the mirror and really navigate where we're being honest with ourselves and where we're not being honest with ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a couple cards here. It might be a smaller reading than normal. But since relationships are pretty heavy on the docket right now, and we do have Venus going into retrograde, I believe, coming up soon. I'm going to pull a couple past, present, future cards. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a narrative. And here we go. And energies are moving so fast that, the readings that are coming up, you'll probably see that a lot of the storylines will be similar for a while, and then they'll just make a huge shift. And some people are on a particular storyline and they're following that energetically and they're bringing that to help people. And other people are on a different storyline. So, who you're drawn to will be revealing depending on what the overall narrative is that you're finding on the videos that you are choosing to watch. So pay attention to that. And you also have to ask yourself, am I creating this? Or is this a message from my guides and my spirit counsel, etc.? So there's also that in terms of clarity, illusion, deception of what are you creating and what is actively being, given to you in terms of assistance and guidance. Because that's an interesting one with the term, law of cause and effect, which is very interesting. So try the best you can to keep your thoughts positive, even if you think, I've been through so much. You can't ever prove to me that it's going to be good, or you can't promise that. Well, yeah, no one can. But what's the point of wasting your energy on the worry and the doubt and looking at everything through black glasses? It's not great to look at things through rose-colored glasses either. You have to kind of, be balanced in your perspective and outlook on life. But it doesn't need to be hellish, and it doesn't need to be all, fluff and light. It can be somewhere in the middle, because we've all experienced a lot of different aspects to life. We may have experienced betrayal. We may have experienced loyalty, really positive, happy things. And, of course, heartbreak and things that took us by surprise. So, hey guys, how's it going? Just do your best to balance and do your best to stay grounded. If you feel that your spiritual path and your enlightenment and awakening at this time is kind of making you feel crazy and like you don't belong, or you're on the fringe, then take a step back and ground yourself, because a lot of that upper chakra level power and intuition, it can get a little bit out of context if you start disassociating a little bit, because what you're feeling, in your daily life doesn't match what your intuitive intelligence is providing you. So there can be a little bit of cognitive dissonance in terms of your awakening and the people around you, because there are people who aren't going to move away from fear and victim mentality, and you're going to be moving away from these people. And it can be disheartening when you're realizing this, that, okay, my circle is changing and I actually don't want to be near this set of friends, or my family members aren't as supportive, or whatever it is for you. That can happen. But what is also going to happen is new tribe, new family members, friends, relationships will come in that will match us at that level, and we will be accepted for who we are authentically. So when the deceptive masks come off of yourself and others, and we're really tuning into the mind and heart connection, instead of, some people like the empath style, just connecting to the heart first and foremost, and then like narcissistic tendencies, they're just all in their head. There's no emotional connection. So bridging that gap and bringing the two together, so kind of the heaven on earth concept, it can be really disorienting. So if you're feeling disoriented right now, it's okay. Stay calm. Don't panic. Don't go into the paranoia route. If you find yourself going down the rabbit hole and you're starting to, clench your jaw, have sleep disturbance, ask yourself, okay, you are seeking the truth. Yes. You might be digging a little bit deeper. Yes. But is it helping you? Is it healthy for you? And if it's not, then go, okay, how can I adjust and transmute this energy to actually better serve myself in a kind, compassionate way? So that's kind of the only channel that I'll give you guys today, because it's my sister's birthday and she's going to be coming over soon, but I did want to hop on and do a nice weekly tarot just to touch base. So I pulled from the fairy messages, Doreen Virtue deck, and the Romance Angels and the Work Your Light deck. And let's just see what we've got going on here. So practice, practice, practice. With daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. So, and this is kind of what I was just talking about. You know, when we tap into a part of ourselves that we haven't really tapped into before, or we're going back to a more innocent version of ourselves, you know, with all the learning and the lessons, so a stronger, you know, version of ourselves, but a more innocent, like we're bringing ourselves back into that state of wonder. We do have to practice. We have to practice all the time to keep our thoughts positive, to, you know, understand that we are empowered to create our dreams, to move forward and take action steps, even when we feel immobilized. So we're really practicing on how to keep our energy balanced. How do we stabilize our energy when the outside, when the external is chaotic? So usually we're working with what to do, and it's just 11:11 on the screen there, when our inner selves are chaotic, and then that projects onto our outside world. But now we're kind of looking at, okay, when the outside is chaotic, how do we bring peace and maintain an element of sanctuary on the inside? So practice, practice, practice. You guys, we are really practicing our spiritual skills at this point. And for relationship, this is new love. It says a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So you might actually be recognizing that we're really practicing our relationships. So you're practicing your relationship with yourself, and you may have in the past met someone that stirred your romantic feelings, but it will also be activating this new self. So, and also what I'm really getting from this is a new love for yourself. So you're realizing your strength, you're realizing your value, your worth, because some people might not have seen your value before. They might have discarded you. They might have tossed you in the trash like garbage, and you're sitting there going, but I see my value, I see my worth, but they didn't. And the thing is, the more practice you have with that energy, the more you realize it's all about their lack of self-worth. If someone doesn't honor or respect you, if someone treats you really poorly, that is a reflection of how they see themselves. That is a reflection of their insecurity and their total and utter complete lack of self-worth. It is not about you. And so when you come to realize this, you can allow new people into your life and start opening your heart and being more discerning. Also, you know, digging deep, making sure you're paying attention to red flags, making sure you're paying attention to your feelings and indicators, your intuitive gut feelings and such. But it is okay to open your heart and kind of explore this new you that's moving forward into the world. So very exciting here. And to clarify that, we have Pillar of Light that says your vibration is rising and you are the oracle. So we have many people who are awakening to new gifts and abilities. So you might be dreaming much more lucidly. There might be more messages coming through in your dreams, or you might be paying attention to animal totems more. There seems to be an evolution in your spiritual path at this time. And so these lessons that we've learned, a lot of them have been dark nights of the soul, where you will have been completely removed from your safety net, so to speak. You know, the Tower card, the removal of that comfort zone. And what that really does is it makes you see your own strength, you know, with blinding clarity. You go, okay, I never thought I could get through this, or I never thought I could build myself back up again, but you do. And even if it's really slowly, that's okay. So this line of cards in the past is all about practicing our skills, practicing the new version of ourselves, the new identity that we're building as a pillar of light, as someone who is acknowledging the responsibility and the strength that they have, and also letting go of that victim mentality, letting go of some of the wounding that we've held on to. It takes courage to let go, because when you keep those with you and you carry them around like a martyr, it gives you a sense of satisfaction. Like, look, I got through all this. This is my pain story and I'm going to take it everywhere. But what's happening now is we are being asked to relinquish that pain story and start new for ourselves. Because if we move forward into these new relationships and we keep bringing our pain story with us, then that continues to mean we have a more likelihood of trauma bonding or getting into a toxic dynamic with someone, because we're bringing that pain story in as an aspect of ourself. Whereas we can bring the lessons we learned in without bringing the pain story in. So I'm not sure if you guys get the difference there, but let's move into what's going on right now. New home. So moving is a step in the right direction for you. We've got some people here who are going to catch the replay and who are watching live. You guys know that it's time to move on. It's time to move somewhere new, bring some new energy in, or the circumstances that are around you aren't honoring who you are. You need more freedom. So right now, your wings are clipped, so to speak. There's just a little bit too much bondage or power issues, something going on there. And it is time to move to a different location. It is time to move to a new home. So this is a really awesome card here. And I know things are restricted right now, but they will open up again. And so this is the time to think about what you want in your new space and to really ask your soul, where is it directing you to go? So where does your soul want to go next? And I know this is something I'm asking myself as well. So try not to get too attached to the timing of this, but Spirit is saying that yes, a new home is in the works for you. So pay attention to opportunities and look a little deeper when those offers come up. So start maybe meditating as well on where you would like to go. And here we have calling in your soulmate. So your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So keep your frequency high. We can have, moments where we're depressed. We can have moments where we're in anxiety, and we can still keep our vibration high. This isn't about, all love and light and no darkness, no shadow, because that's what we're in right now. We're in the shadow. We're in the darkness. We're in the underbelly, the guts, right? We have anger. We have resentment. We're moving through these pain stories of the past. We're really bringing up all the dirt from the bottom, all the gunk from the bottom, bringing it up to the surface so we can deal with it and move on, because we do not want to bring that old pain story in, because we don't want to self-sabotage anymore. We don't want to have such a fear of intimacy or vulnerability that we have an amazing person come into our life and we can't hack it. We can't, believe that they exist, or we can't, be emotionally open or available enough to let that person in. So we cut them loose, and then you're going, oh shit, I made a mistake. And now I have to face myself, because I know that my trauma and my pain story led me to this behavior or action. So continue to stay positive in terms of calling in those people who are healthy for you, where there's reciprocity, there's an equal give and take, and you can really learn with this person and grow with this person. So quite often why relationships don't, pan out is because one person refuses to grow and another person is growing, or you're growing in separate directions. So this is a really good card to kind of bring in someone who will grow with you, who will support you, and where there's an equal give and take of energy, and where you're connecting based on a healthy, safe environment versus connecting from past trauma, past wounds. And it's, the comfort zone is an unsafe environment because that's what you grew up in childhood. So be really aware of how you're relating to this person, this soulmate that you're calling in. So very important. But it also can mean as well that there is a soulmate connection, connected to this move as well. So this is why Spirit might be really working with you on the finer points. So you have to listen really carefully on where you're moving, because it might be connected with part of your soul path. So if you're, wondering about divine timing, then yes, it probably is at work. So funny. Okay, so definite reassurance here. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. So your new home and calling in that new healthy relationship where you get to actually practice the new skills and the knowledge that you and the wisdom that you've gained out of this past, well, let's just say year, or more, but I'm just going to highlight the last year because that's when a lot of the big heavy hitting astrological events occurred, and many of us found ourselves really challenged by our spiritual path. So we are divinely guided right now. So just pay attention. And when you feel yourself like resisting and angry, and I've been there for the last couple days, I think for me, the full moons really brought out this like frustration. I'm like, I want to go. I'm ready, like chomping at the bit. But it's just not aligned yet. So the timing isn't right. There's some things that need to be tidied up first still. So just if you find yourself there, try to cope in healthy ways. All right. So future love life. So the basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. So yes, that movement, the new home, the new location, new tribe, new energy. This does support your love life. And it is saying, because this is the fairy card, not the romance card, that yes, there is a highlight on our romantic relationships at this time, which is really why we have had to be so impeccable with our word to ourselves. So what do you want? What will you not stand for? How will you stand your ground and emanate your worth? So if someone's coming in with breadcrumbs and you're like, no, I don't deserve breadcrumbs, I deserve this, and you're standing your ground, good for you. Because that person then isn't enabled to continue their shitty behavior because you're going, yes, continue your shitty behavior. I will meet you down there. You're saying, hell no, I'm going to stay up here and you can come elevate or not. That's fine. But, keep your boundaries strong, but keep I'm trying to look for the word. It's kind of slipping my mind here. Confidence. Keep your confidence high. Even if you've come out of something really shady, keep your confidence as high as possible, because really you get to take your ability to love into your next relationship, right? You get to take your unique energy to something new. So really the loss is for the other person. If you're watching this, you are willing to grow, you're willing to learn, you're willing to expand. And that's something not everyone is willing or able to do. So kudos to you. Continue that. It takes so much courage. It is scary as fuck to let go of trauma, to realize, holy shit, my childhood traumas led me to this behavior where I get into unhealthy relationship dynamics because that feels comfortable, or whatever it is for you, right? We all find out what our weaknesses are, and it's our responsibility to improve on those or not, right? So we do make that choice. So let's see what that is. Finances and career. It's kind of funny how they alternated there. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So this is going to go kind of one of two ways here. And many people in the past had financial issues, especially if you're on the spiritual path, or you've been overtly focused on the material realm. So you can either have been kind of like in the ego realm and really just focused on material, what can I get? What can I wear? And you kind of neglected your actual intimate relationships with friends, family, or partners. And now you're realizing, oh shit, I prioritized things over people. And now with this isolation, you're realizing, that job that you prioritized over a person who really loved you, or, your family members, or you were just wanted the newest purse or whatnot, you're realizing that that doesn't really give you much in return when you can have true respect, loyalty, love, compassion, and support from someone. So really moving, and that connects into that mind-heart connection as well. We're moving away from receiving validation through material goods or someone else saying, okay, if you have this degree or if you have this job, you're valuable or worthy. But really, it is a system, and a lot of us are realizing that. And so, you have to come to a point where you're valuable without the system, right? And I think a lot of people are coming into that realization that they may have prioritized material wealth far above and beyond their love life even, or romantic relationships. And that is something that you need to heal and move forward from by taking responsibility for that and investing more into your relationships and learning how to communicate better. But for others, this is actually saying you are moving into that King or Queen of Pentacles energy, and you are taking responsibility for your financial wealth, and you're allowing abundance in, and you're looking at ways where you can actually receive more and more and more, because you're realizing, yes, even though you're on a spiritual path, you can be wealthy. You can be wealthy in both ways. You can be wealthy in spiritual knowledge and wisdom, and you can share that wisdom and therefore receive abundance and financial wealth for doing that. So many of us are moving into that energy where, the world is becoming a little bit wider. There are more opportunities for us to make money doing what we love. And we're kind of shedding those old beliefs of, charging a certain rate for our services or whatnot. So there's going to be expansion in that regard, in terms of having the confidence then, because either way you look at it, if you're spiritual and you don't have financial stability, or you're egotistical and you don't have financial stability, both of those energies will bring insecurity financially. So whichever one you were coming at, it doesn't mean one's, better or worse than the other. It does still mean that there's anxiety about money. There's less freedom with money. So your friends might be going on trips and you're going, well, fuck, I can't go because I can't freaking afford it. So now we're moving both from that material and spiritual aspect of not really having our financial foundation built. So before we were working on weak foundations, both, relationship wise and financially. And so now we're moving into a place where the more we get to know ourselves and the connection of head and heart and spiritual, balance with the ego, then we can realize, okay, we can have these strong, healthy relationships, which actually help us build the financial security and stability. Because if you're putting yourself first, then you're responsible for making sure you have money in the bank. You have your, support system covered. So it's not a selfish thing. It's, being safe. It's being protective of yourself first and foremost, but in a really healthy way. Because as soon as you have that for yourself, let's just say you enter into a new relationship and you think, okay, well, I really want this to work, but if it doesn't, I'm going to have $2,000 in the bank just in case, or 3,000, 4,000, whatever it is for you, so that you can start over again if you have to. And that's just taking precaution. And you feel like, okay, I'm protected, I'm safe. If this doesn't work out, I got me. And then you move forward with that. That's a really, really smart, confident way to move forward with it. And then you can be generous if it's a give and take energy with the other person, and you can talk about your finances, etc. So it's a really interesting new landscape to be moving into. So let's see what our final clarifier is. Boundaries. So where do you need to establish better boundaries? So that's exactly what I was talking about. We want to be moving into relationships where there's mutual respect. And so if we've each done our work and we've looked at our faults and our weaknesses and we've come out of that and going, holy crap, I didn't realize how much I was sabotaging this, or how much my narcissistic parent affected me, or, poverty affected me, or alcoholism or addictions. And now I'm an adult and I can really see this coming out in my relationships with friends and family, or I can see it in my financial choices and decisions, and really coming to that balanced state now where you're going, okay, I'm responsible now. It's not the past. I have power to influence change in my life. And the more I'm covered on all my bases, the more I can bring to a healthy relationship. So, we do know finances do make a big difference. So really look to create that solid foundation for yourself in finances. And this month, I've already heard a couple readers say, be aware, double kind of treat it as a Mercury retrograde coming up here. Like really be aware of the offers that come in and be aware of any contracts that you're signing. And of course, this reading is actually pretty positive in terms of balance and what's coming in. But do make sure that you have a healthy acknowledgement of where each person is coming in with their finances. And, when we're low on finances or we're just building up again from starting over, we can be a little bit vulnerable and insecure about that. But just remember, if you are meeting someone at a healthy energetic vibration or frequency, then that person will have the capacity to hold space for you in that, right? So you're not just one aspect of your life. You're not just your finances. You're not just your spiritual evolution, You are a whole package. You have a million different facets to your personality and your life. So if someone isn't willing to sit down with you and understand that, then that doesn't show a strong foundation in the first place. So finding someone that you're comfortable actually saying, like, these are my boundaries. This is how I'm coming into this. This is what's going to make me feel comfortable. I've been taken advantage of in the past, or I haven't, but I'm really good with my money and I want to keep it that way. Whatever it is for you, be sure to be open, transparent, and honest with your expectations and your needs financially and in relationships. So very interesting energies coming up. It does kind of indicate that there's definitely not a lot of new energy coming in. So moving to a new place, new love possibly coming in, and definitely thinking about the love life and your finances right now and how to build a steady foundation. So focus on your positive aspects. Focus on your strengths instead of focusing on any weaknesses right now. You can look at your weaknesses for improvement, but make sure to find someone who's willing to look at your weaknesses and your strengths. Because if someone's just wanting to be with you for your strengths, then that kind of indicates that might be a taker energy there. Like they're along for the ride as long as something's good. But if it's, if there's any issues or work needed, then they're out. So just watch for that. Watch for people who are willing to do the work. So find someone who's willing to do the work, right? So not just kind of riding on your coattails, so to speak. All right, guys. So that is the kind of short and sweet tarot for the week. Lots of goodies in there. And let's see if anyone's watching and you want a quick personal tarot pull. Just put yes, please in the comments, and I'll do a quick tarot pull for you. Da-da-da. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. And I'll be back for some more goodies. And it doesn't look like anyone is wanting a personal pull. So I will just pull one more clarifying card, and then I'll catch you guys next time. Ooh, this one says Knight of Earth. It says, time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments and a guardian angel. So we are really moving at a slow and steady pace here, you guys. But if you're worried about your love life, there is, a guardian. There is a team assisting you in the higher realms and the 5D, helping all of this land, helping it all come in. So when you're in that panic energy or disappointment or frustration, Please put your focus elsewhere where you know that you can bring up your vibration. So going for a hike, going for a walk, coloring, being artistic, some way that your creative energy can move, right? Because really what you're wanting is energy to move because it's feeling stagnant. And so find a way to move that energy. Dance, sing, and do your own thing. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, especially if this is your first time catching up with me on this channel. And hopefully I'll catch you next time. Mwah! Take care.